My name is Satoshi Terada. I'm a regular old 27-year-old sales worker in Tokyo. The company I work at sells processed meat to various vendors, and our main clients are chain supermarket joints and convenience stores. I was putting up decent sales numbers and was on a roll, but... Wait a minute! What do you mean you're not renewing my contract for the next year? I'm really sorry. I really hate to do this to you, but... Why are you doing this? My sales numbers are pretty good, and I've worked my ass off the last couple of months. Yeah, I agree with you. It's just... It was the board's decision. I can't do anything about it. The HR department told me that you weren't fit for this company. There's no way! This must be some kind of mistake! Again, I agree with you. You were an honest, hard-working employee of ours. I really don't want you to leave us, but I have no choice. Sorry it had to be this way. I understand. Thank you for everything, sir. And that's how I found out that I had been fired. While I stood there in disbelief, a man came up to me and said, "Huh? What's going on, sir?" You were watching, weren't you? You saw what happened. I just got cut from the company. Wait, seriously? Well, that's a bummer. You were working so hard. Well, maybe it's because you're a temp here, unlike me. The world is hard on temp workers like you. This guy making fun of me is Makoto. He's way younger than me, but he always acts like he's better than me because he's a full-time employee here. By the way, his father's the CEO of this company. Everyone knows that's why he got hired in the first place. He's just an all-around douchebag. I heard about what's going to happen. You're taking over my clients, aren't you? That's right. Don't worry. I'll do an even better job than you. Well, you finally have a big client now. Who do you think I am? This was just a matter of time. Congratulations. Whatever you say. All right, I'm just gonna hand you this then. What's this? It's the data I have on our clients. Everything important about my clients is stored in that USB drive. There's instructions on how to handle my job in there as well. Huh? I didn't know you kept all of their data on a hard drive. You were a pretty hard worker after all. But I don't need this. Wait, what the hell are you doing? What? I just told you. I don't need it. I don't need you to tell me how to do my job. I see. But are you sure you can handle things fine? The sale event for MoniRobo Butcher Shop is coming up, you know. Of course I know. Don't worry. I have my own way of doing things. All right. Whatever you say then. Good luck with everything. And so, I left the company. I got fired from my job. My coworkers looked down on me. And nothing was going well. But there was one thing keeping me afloat. I'm back!
Hey, welcome home, Satoshi. Is something wrong? You don't seem too well.
Well, yes. I just got fired from my job.
Wait, you're kidding, right? I thought you were doing well at your job.
Well, I was...
Then why did they fire you?
I'm really not sure, to be honest with you. You know how I told you about the CEO's son, Makoto?
Yeah, the kid that makes fun of you for being a temp worker, right?
Yeah, I think he's behind this. He probably made stuff up about me and told his father to get rid of me.
What?
I don't have any evidence, but he got all of my clients, so I think it's safe to say that he's involved.
If that's true, then we have to make him pay.
Well, there's nothing we can really do anymore. But I'm really worried if he can handle his job. He broke the hard drive that had all of the client data on it.
I can't believe he would do something like that.
Well, I actually copied the data onto another USB drive. So if anything goes wrong, I still have the data with me. But I did get permission from my boss about taking the data out. If everything ends well, I'll just return the data afterwards.
I see.
This is my girlfriend, Emmy. She works as a receptionist at the company that I used to work at, and we've been dating for 2 years now. Well, I guess I can't really complain too much. I'm a temp worker after all. This is just part of the job, I guess.
Satoshi.
Oh yeah, by the way, Emmy, why don't we go out this Saturday?
Like a date?
Yeah, a date. We haven't been on one in a while, right? We could go to an amusement park or even a hot springs. Whatever you like.
I'm really sorry. I can't do Saturday. I'm hanging out with some people.
Oh, I see.
I'm sorry, but I'm looking forward to our date.
Then when are you free? I don't have to go to work anymore, so whenever works for me.
I'm really not sure about my schedule. I'll let you know as soon as I find out.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, I'm really tired, so I'm gonna go to sleep now.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. Emmy has been kind of distant from me as of late. I've asked her out on a date a couple of times now, but she always says that she's busy. Oh, don't tell me this is going where I think it's going. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Wait, where's my seat? Did you guys change the layout? Oh, your seat? It's right over there. Over where? Wait, when I looked over to where Makoto was pointing, I saw a seat by the window. This is your last week here, so I put your desk over there where you can't distract us. I see. Just know that this isn't personal. This is just to increase work efficiency for everyone. Okay. By the way, I was thinking about giving your old seat to Miss Emmy. Wait, how does that make any sense? She's a receptionist. Why would she be on this floor? I mean, we need a receptionist for the sales department, right? So we decided to move her up here. So, what are you thinking, sir? If you're not happy with your seat, you could quit today. We'll make sure to pay you the rest of your salary, even if you quit. Okay, then I quit. All right. Thanks for everything, sir. And so, I gathered my things and left the office. God, why is this happening to me? I'm way more useful than that asshole! Satoshi, you forgot your key case at work. Oh shoot, sorry about that. I guess I have to get back. And so, I returned to the office. And when I walked by the smoking room, I heard two familiar voices talking.
Now we can finally be together, Makoto. Yeah,
and the promotion I got is turning out to be a really nice deal for me. That Makoto and Emmy?
But Satoshi was a good salesman, wasn't he? How did you fire him?
Oh, well that's easy. My father's the CEO of the company.
So, you just exploited your status, huh?
Yeah, but that obviously wasn't going to be enough. So I lied about him harassing you and forcing you to be in a relationship with him. That did it.
I see. The photos I gave you came in handy then.
Yeah, the guy from the HR department was fuming when he saw those photos.
It's so easy to trick people, isn't it?
Wait, you've got to be kidding me. So it wasn't just Makoto. Emmy framed me too? After learning what happened, I made my way home feeling defeated. I gathered all of my belongings in our apartment and got ready to move. Then, I found the computer Emmy used for personal stuff. I'm pretty good with computers, and finding the password wasn't very hard. It was just her birthday. And when I looked through all of her files, I found photos of us that had been heavily edited. She probably found the original photos on some shady website and pasted our faces onto them. I can't believe the HR department would buy into this crap! This is not fair! I'm gonna teach those assholes a lesson! I'm gonna show them how much I've dedicated myself to this job! And a week later, things started to go wrong. Obviously, Makoto wasn't qualified to handle all of the new workload. Makoto, what should I do? What's wrong? Your clients from MoniRobo Butcher Shop are here. Wait, why? I'm not sure, but they seem pretty mad. Hey, where's the manager? I'm right here. What can I do for you, sir? What are you thinking? What? We told you that for this year's event, we were going to be focusing on domestic beef. Why the hell did you send us a bunch of foreign-grown beef? I hate to tell you this, but you shouldn't let old traditions hold you back. What? Consumers are increasingly demanding foreign-made beef over domestic ones. They're just cheaper. No one's gonna buy the expensive domestic stuff, you know. You bastard! And let's change the layout a bit. It's important to pay attention to social media and how everything's gonna look here. So this is the new sales model I came up with. What do you think? Did you not learn anything from Satoshi? What? We are targeting a distinct consumer base that we have through this event. Many of our customers like expensive beef. We talked about this for hours in our meetings. Wait, what? So I ask again, did you not learn anything from Satoshi? It is clear you did not do any market research either. I'm really sorry. Stop pretending like you know all there is to know about our company. Can we get reassigned to Satoshi? Well, he already quit his position here. Wait, what? Makoto, this really isn't good. What now? Hey, you screwing with us or something? What? What we asked for was thick beef that had a chewy texture to it. Sure. But these thin slices of beef are what we got. Calm down. I understand why you might be frustrated, but when we think about the costs, this type of meat is the most efficient. Then why didn't you come to talk to us about it? The decision wasn't yours to make. I'm really sorry. Whatever. I want to talk to Satoshi. You're just useless. Well, Satoshi quit his job recently. You kidding me? We really liked his analytical nature and hard-working attitude. If he ain't with you guys no more, we're gonna have to look for another company to work with. Wait a minute. Please don't do this! We feel the same way. If you cannot do what we ask you to do, then we are better off looking for someone else. No way! This isn't good! These two are some of our most important clients. God damn it! Sir, if they cut ties with us, our company is done for. I don't know what I should do. Hey, what's going on here? Your clients have been calling me non-stop. Dad, I'm really sorry. I don't have time to yell at you right now. We need to fix this mess right now before it gets too late. Where's the data Satoshi handed you? Well, I actually threw it all away. Wait, seriously? You threw away all of the instructions he left for you? I'm sorry. You idiot! Don't you know how important past conversations with our clients are? I can't believe you'd throw all that data away! How could you ever do something like that, you bumbling idiot? I said I was sorry! How I can punish you later. Sir, we're really sorry about this whole mess. We really are. You had better be. This incident has absolutely shattered the trust we had between us. We were really counting on ya. As CEO, I do not take this incident lightly. We will reconnect you with Satoshi immediately and help you find a solution. But I thought he quit his job. Why the hell would you let a worker like that just walk away? But I'm very disappointed, to say the least. Ain't that your responsibility as well? It was my mistake to let him leave. Hey, Makoto! Satoshi's the only one who can fix this mess. Go find him and ask him to come back. Me? That's right. You better do anything and everything it takes to get him back. I got about 100 texts and calls from Makoto, but I ignored them all. I was being a bit bitter, but I didn't really care if that company went under or not. But our CEO and even our clients called me, asking me to return, so I rushed over to the office, telling myself that this would be the last time I ever helped these people out. Sir, I'm really sorry about all of the disrespectful behavior I showed you. Our clients are absolutely enraged right now and please help us out, please! That's why I told you to take a look at the data I gave you. I'm sorry, I really am. Please forgive me. I apologize as well. I'm very sorry about all of this.
All right. Well, we have to start by looking for some new meat products.
Yeah, but that's the biggest issue right now. Do you think you can do it?
Of course. I've worked with hundreds of wholesalers before. I'm going to try finding the best fit for each of our clients.
Thank you so much. Please do that.
And so, I called about a few dozen wholesalers that I've worked with in the past to secure some new meat products for our clients. And eventually, sir, I found an owner who's willing to sell and send over the products to us. They say that they can provide us with the exact type of beef our clients are looking for.
Do you think you can do it? Thank you so much.
By the way, have the clients gone home already?
Yeah. They saw the way you were working and said that they had full trust in you.
Okay. I'll visit their office later and apologize to them again.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You're the only one that can handle the responsibility of working with our two biggest clients.
Okay.
Wait just a moment. I know I messed up big time, but they're supposed to be my clients now. Please, shut up. I'm the one making the decisions here. But
I hate to say this, but you made the decision to fire me, remember? And I heard that it was because of a rumor that your son started.
I'm really sorry about that. I'm not sure what I was thinking. And as a sign of respect, I want to offer you a full-time job here. Of course, I'll make sure you're paid well, so please, could you help us out?
After seeing the CEO being very apologetic, I couldn't help but let out a huge sigh. I thought I didn't care about this company, but the work I do here is pretty fun. And I don't want to disappoint my clients any further. Sure, I'll try to give this job my best.
Really? Thank you so much! Thank you truly! And Makoto? That means you're fired! Wait, what? You only think about yourself and how you can get a promotion, and you never pay any attention to your clients' needs. I understand that clearly now. No way! Trust is everything in sales, but you lack that severely. I'm going to fire you, so climb back up on your own for once. That's too much, Dad!
Sir, can I ask another favor of you?
What is it?
Could you fire that receptionist over there as well?
Wait, me? Why?
She was conspiring with your son to get me fired. She made edited photos of me to get rid of me. She doesn't deserve a job here.
What are you talking about? Sir, he's lying.
All of the evidence was on Emmy's computer. I'm thinking of taking legal action against her as well. But if you're willing to do the right thing, I won't delve any deeper into this.
I understand. I'll ask our lawyer to look into it, and we'll get to the bottom of this. If what Satoshi said is true, you're obviously going to be fired.
What? No way.
I would start praying if I were you. I'm going to make sure you pay for what you did. And so, everything was settled, and this whole incident came to an end. And afterwards, the truth came out. Makoto was the first one to be fired. He also had to personally finance the damages our company had to pay our clients for his mistake. So I guess that's basically how he's going to end up spending his severance pay. And our CEO also looked into the allegations surrounding Emmy. There were witnesses to prove my case, and not so good rumors of her had been spreading around the office for quite some time now. So she was fired soon after as well. I also sued those two for defamation after my lawyer recommended that I do so. I was able to get a lot of money out of the suit. Makoto and Emmy were now in huge debt. They had it coming to them. Meanwhile, I was able to regain the trust of the company, and my clients and I got a huge promotion. My two clients ended up hosting an event together, and I was given the responsibility of organizing the whole thing. I did everything from scratch and took on market research as well as the marketing. I also had to secure the venue, and I was pretty overwhelmed. But I'm not really tired at all. In fact, I'm having the most fun I've ever had at work. This is all thanks to my clients, who demanded that I return to the company. I didn't know that my clients valued me this much until the whole incident went down. So I'm glad I was able to reaffirm the trust they had for me through this whole ordeal. I'm a bit sad about not having a girlfriend anymore. But who would ever want a girlfriend like her, right? I'm going to focus on work for a while.
My name is Tomoyo Sanyo. I was born to my father, Kenichi, and my mother, his mistress, Kimiko. I'm a result of their affair. Tomorrow I'm going to go to work. Be a good girl at home alone, okay? Sure, Mom. I got it. Have a great day. Life certainly wasn't easy, but even in that situation, my mom and I helped each other in every way as she was basically a single mother.
Tomoyo, long time no see. How you been?
Dad, I missed you. I've been so sad.
Is that so? I'm sorry, little Tomoyo, for always making you so sad.
Kenichi, it's nice to see you. I missed you. Can you stay the whole day today?
Yeah, one day should be fine.
Through our difficult life, my mom and I would always look forward to the day that my father would come visit us. However, Kenichi would only hand us an envelope of about $1,000 per month. This was all we got as his side family. It wasn't enough for one adult and one child to live off of. That's why my mom wasn't able to sit back and relax while raising me. She had to work without any days off to support us. I was always left home alone, so my days were spent feeling extra lonely and sad. Even though I grew up this way, there was something that would always make me feel better. Tomoyo, what's wrong? You seem a bit down. Is everything okay? Yeah, everything's all right, Shoko. I was just lost in my thoughts. I see. Oh, by the way, your dad was there over the break, wasn't he? For the first time in 2 months. How was it, seeing him? How are you feeling? I mean, I was happy, for sure. But it's always so hectic when he comes, and it's over in an instant, and then he disappears again. So, to be honest, I don't even really know anymore, I guess. What, so does that mean maybe he doesn't love me? No way! If that were the case, then he wouldn't come visit you, would he? Yeah, I mean, I guess. It just feels more normal to not have him around these days. Plus, my mom seems really tired these days, and she hasn't been feeling so well. I see. Your family has a lot going on. If there's anything that I can do to help you guys, let me know, okay? I'm always here for you. Yeah. Thank you, Shoko. Every day I was forced to face my reality and live this life, but my best friend Shoko was always there to support me. Little did I know that this hard but maintainable life would soon come to an end as well. Unfortunately, it wasn't ending for the better, but rather for the worst. No. This can't be real. It's a joke, right, Mom? Wake up, Mom! Overcome by her difficulties and being overworked for years, my mom passed away at a young age. We were able to pay for the funeral somehow with her life insurance. However, an even bigger problem was left for me to figure out. My mom grew up in an orphanage, and therefore she didn't have any other family. Because I was still a minor, and the only person that I was able to rely on was my blood-related father, I had no choice but to go to him. My father seemed happy that we could live together, but the rest of the family certainly did not feel the same way. Seriously, Tomoyo, how many times do I have to tell you to clean this up? Yes, I did clean it up, just like you told me to. Well then, what is this pile of trash here? What is this? There wasn't any trash here before. Where did this come from?
Yo, sorry about that, Tomoyo. I accidentally knocked over the entire trash can and it fell everywhere. My bad. But that's not the important part. Hurry up and clean it, because that's your job. You know that, right?
Go on, do as Saiki says. Hurry up and clean it, Tomoyo. What? But I already cleaned it, and I'm not the one who did this. Who do you think you are? You're the bastard child of a mistress, and you think you can come in here and talk back to us? We're letting you stay here and feeding you, so it's your duty to listen to us and do as you're told. Yes, I understand. I'll clean it immediately. Every time my father wasn't around, my half-brother and stepmother continued to bully me and make my life a living hell. I thought that being all alone and sad was hard, but this felt even worse than that.
Tomoyo, have you adjusted to your new home yet?
Yes, a little bit. Why, yes, honey. This little girl is working very hard around here. I was reaching my limit with this miserable life, and as soon as I graduated high school, I left the house. Today's dinner is just miso soup with sprouts and bread crust. I'm so tight on money, it's not easy, but it's still way better than staying there. After I left the house, I moved into my own place and started living alone. However, because I was still a minor, they had an extremely low salary. I could barely even put food on my own table, much less live comfortably. Even then, despite the struggle, these two would still periodically come by to check in on me. By these two, I mean my father, Kenichi, and my best friend, Shoko.
Tomoyo, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to do anything for you. I know that Mommy and Saiki couldn't accept you for being the daughter of my mistress. I've made you go through so much pain, and I'm truly so sorry.
Yeah, but there's nothing we can do about it. To those people, I'm a nobody, even worse than a stranger. I hope you know that it's not your fault. My father would always bring me a little gift, and even though it wasn't much, he would try to support me with a little cash too. And every single time, he would shower me with those types of words. I never once hated my father, though. That's because I knew that my father genuinely loved both my mom and me, and he never once lied about that. I heard that he did try to get a divorce at one point, but he was pressured by his wife's family and could never win against his strong wife, and his life continued as is until the present day. That's why I never blame my father. Unfortunately, it was just the way the cards were dealt, and I drew an unlucky hand. Perhaps if he had met my mom first and been able to marry her, then maybe we could have a happy life like everybody else. Even if we were poor and didn't have much at all, if the three of us were together, then maybe we could have been a loving family like everybody else. Maybe I could have had a taste of happiness like everybody else. But those wishes are long in the past, especially now with my mom gone. And so, I got a job at the same restaurant as Shoko. Of course, one of the reasons why I decided to work here was so that Shoko and I could work together, but it was also because a staff meal was served every day. To be able to secure at least one meal was a big savior for someone like me who was really struggling to make ends meet. The biggest savior of all, though, was to have my best friend Shoko so close to me. Because with her by my side, I could feel a reason to live in this otherwise hopeless life. Hey, Tomoyo, since we both have the day off tomorrow, why don't you come over to my house for a sleepover? Oh, really? Yeah, I'd love to. Well, this makes me feel kind of old. It's been a long time since we've had a sleepover. Yeah, I think the last time was in high school. It was when your mom was still healthy. Yeah, that's right. It's been a while. Back then, you would sometimes come over to our house, too. Yeah, how nostalgic. Sleepovers with you and your mom were always fun, especially since I didn't have a mom at home. It always felt like your mom was my real mom. Shoko and I had a moment of reflecting on some memories we'd shared. After we finished work, I dropped by my own apartment to get a change of clothes and headed toward Shoko's house. Hello, I'm here. I've been waiting for ya. Sorry I'm late. I got caught up looking for an album. Album? Which one? From when? From when we were in elementary school. To me, this is my number one keepsake from my mother. I see. Well, can we have a look? Oh my gosh, look at this! Isn't this from the very first time that I went to go over to your house? Yeah, that's right. And then this one is when you, me, and my mom went to the park together. Wow. I remember that day. Your mom finally had the day off work, so she was able to play with us, right? Because she knew that I didn't have a mom. And then this is the first photo we ever took together as a family. Wow, yeah. I remember this one, too. I think this was the first time that I ever met your father, right? Yep, that's right. And I introduced you to my father as my first and best friend. Do you remember that? Yeah, of course I remember. I just can't believe it's been over 10 years since all of this. Yeah, how crazy. When I think about it, I think that was the happiest time I had in my entire life. Tomoyo, it's all right. Don't give up. If you keep going, I know the day will come that you're rewarded for everything. So, don't give up. For your mom, too. I know she wants to see you happy. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Shoko. The two of us look back at our memories while laughing and crying. I can never go back to those nostalgic and happy days. Those days spent with my mom and a brief few days I spent with my father. None of it. But even in my hopeless dark life, Shoko took my hand and tried to remind me that there was still so much life ahead of us. And she would always say, "We're going to be happy together." To me, this was my only motivation, and also my #1 savior to keep going. A letter? Who could it be from? However, 1 month later, I received an unexpected envelope of a one-way letter. When I checked the sender, I saw my father's name written on it, and despite having an uneasy feeling, I brought the envelope up to my room. My father? Why would he send me a letter? It felt way too strange. That's because I had never received a letter from him before, or any packages sent to me either. I sat down and opened the envelope, and there was a letter folded up inside. I laid it out and started to run my eyes across the words written on it. No way. My father's in the hospital right now? But why? When I read the letter, I was so shocked and went into such a panic that I immediately picked up the phone and mindlessly called Shoko. Shoko, what do I do? Wait, Tomoyo, hold on. What happened? My father's in the hospital. He has to stay there, and your dad in the hospital? Okay. Tomoyo, calm down. Deep breaths. Wait for me. I'm coming over now. A few minutes later, Shoko came running to my apartment and arrived at my doorstep out of breath. Hey, sorry to keep you waiting, Tomoyo. I'm sorry, Shoko. No, don't worry about me. Anyway, what happened to your father? That's the thing, I don't know. All he said was that he was going to have to stay in the hospital for a while, and that's why he won't be able to come see me. I see. But if he's saying that he has to stay in the hospital for a while, it must mean it's a pretty serious condition, probably, right? That's the only conclusion I can come to. Shoko, what am I supposed to do? Should I go straight to the hospital? All right. Well, first, let's try to calm down a little bit. It's true that we need to go to the hospital to understand the exact situation, but we can't go today, you know. But why? First of all, look at the time. What time is it right now? The time? Right now, it's around 8 p.m. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you finally realized, right? It's already past the time that visitors are allowed in the hospital, so we don't have a choice but to wait until tomorrow. You're right. Tomorrow, after we both finish work, let's go together to see your father. We're both the early shift tomorrow, right? Yeah. Thank you, Shoko. You're the best. And so, the next day, Shoko and I finished work as quickly as possible and headed straight to the hospital. Father, are you okay? Are you okay, Mr. Kenichi?
Oh dear, Tomoyo and even Shoko, you came all the way just to see me. Thank you. I just had a little injury, that's all. I'm sorry to make you worry.
But still, it's obviously not small. What happened? How did you get hurt?
Oh, it's nothing. It seems like I didn't realize how tired I was, and I let my foot slip on the stairs. And I took a bit of a tumble, so I broke both my arms and my legs.
I see. So it's not like you have a heavy illness or something, right?
Yes, I'm fine. It just means that I have to go through some therapy before I can walk again, so it might take a while before I'm fully recovered.
Oh, well, thank goodness. To be honest, I panicked. I didn't know what I would do if you left me too.
I see. I'm sorry, truly, Tomoyo. But I'm so happy to see your face, and thank you for coming to check on me. There was actually something that I wanted to talk to you about.
What is it?
Yes, and it's very, very important. There's a chance that you and I might be able to live together.
Really? But if we did that, those people would never forgive you, no?
Sure, you're right that they may never forgive me, but if all goes well, none of that will matter anymore. So just hang tight for me, Tomoyo, and I promise I'll do my best.
Okay. not sure I really understand yet, but if it means that I get to live with you, then I'll be happy. After confirming that my father was indeed okay, Shoko and I left his hospital room. It must be hard that he's injured like that, but I'm still relieved to know that it wasn't as bad as we thought. It doesn't seem like he'll be disabled afterwards either. Yeah, seriously. I'm so glad. Thanks again, Shoko, for coming with me. What are you thanking me for? I'm your best friend. Of course I'm going to be worried. We both let out a deep sigh of relief, but as we were trying to leave the hospital...
Hey, isn't that Tomoyo? Wow, we haven't seen you in a long time. Have you forgotten how to say hello to your own brother?
Saiki. Hi. Long time no see. Oh, well look who it is. It's Tomoyo. What are you doing in a place like this? I came to check in on my father. Interesting. I don't know where you came crawling from, but we're here to take care of him, so you really don't need to come back anymore. What? But I still want to see my father. Do you need me to put it to you more clearly? You've always been so dull, I guess not much has changed. Well then, let me give it to you straight. You're the bastard child from his mistress. Stop acting like you're his family and leave us alone. And looking so pathetic dressed like that. I don't want anyone to think that we're related to you anyway. How could you? Excuse you? Regardless of who you are, that's way too selfish of you. Why should she have to get permission from you to come see her real father? And who the heck are you? Peasants can keep their mouths shut. Anyway, don't you two ever show your faces here again. You hear me? This woman, if you let me have a word with her. Shoko, it's fine, let's go. What? No, but... Shoko and I left the hospital, and we walked to a park far away from the hospital and sat down on a bench. That old witch, she really gets on my nerves. What a terrible person. It wasn't enough for her to push you out of the house. She still has to say such horrible things to you. But, Tomoyo, why didn't you say anything back? I'm sure that it upset you, didn't it? Of course, it makes me so mad. It always has, but if I fight with those people, it only makes my father's life harder. And plus, when we went to go see him at the hospital, what he was saying... You mean when he said that you guys might be able to live together? True. It seemed like a pretty big deal. Yeah, I don't really know what he meant by that, but I want to believe him, so I can hold on for a little longer, and I don't want to make things more difficult in the meantime. Alright, well, if that's how you feel, then I'll always support you, and I'll hope for the best for you too. And so, Shoko and I both decided to believe my father's words. A few days later, a man I didn't recognize showed up at my workplace and asked for me.
Are you Miss Tomoyo Sanyo?
Yes, I'm Tomoyo Sanyo. And may I ask who you are?
My name is Daisuke Shijo. I'm a friend of your father. Would you have some time today once you finish your job?
I hurried to finish up my work and met with Mr. Shijo at a cafe nearby.
I'm sorry to catch you after work like this. Actually, I was asked for a favor by your father to come find you.
What? What do you mean? I couldn't understand what he was saying, and I asked Mr. Shijo to clarify. He began to open up the details to me. Many years ago, it turns out that my father had been dating my mom with the intention of marrying her. However, Mommy Kojo of the wealthy Kojo family fell in love with him, and using her family's money, she bought the majority of shares in my father's company and gained control over both my father and his company. Then she threatened to forcefully terminate all of the company employees unless he broke up with my mom and cornered him into marrying her. To save his company and his employees, he felt he had no choice but to accept the situation. However, in order to do something about these unfair circumstances, my father had secretly teamed up with his friend, Mr. Shijo, and grew a separate business together. And now, finally, their efforts were looking like they were going to pay off.
We're so sorry that it took us this long, but now you can relax. Your day has finally come, Tomoyo.
After that, I was invited to Mr. Shijo's house. According to him, my father and Mr. Shijo had finally succeeded in buying every single one of the Kojo company's shares. This became a reality because the Kojo company hadn't been doing well lately, and they were able to take advantage. As a result, Mommy Kojo and Saiki Kojo lost their status as owners of the company, but because they continued on with their spending habits, they had to sell all of their private property in order to meet their payments. From there, my father presented her with divorce papers, and without any power over him anymore, Mommy reluctantly signed an exchange for a small amount of money to cut all ties. Fast forward to today, the Kojo mother and son lost their assets, their house, and their pride all at once, and are now living in a crappy one-room apartment while aimlessly trying to figure out how to survive. As for me, my father and I moved into Mr. Sanjo's house. Because Mr. Sanjo's house is actually shared property with my father, it turns out it's also my father's house as well.
Tomoyo, I'm here! Mr. Yusuke, Ryoma, nice to see you.
Hey there, Shoko! Ah, she's finally here! Now that we're all here, should we all go shopping? Yeah, let's do it! You ready, Tomoyo?
Yes, let's go. All of our situations had been changed, and this time, for the better. I'm dating the oldest son of Mr. Sanjo, Yusuke, with a mutual hope of getting married. And what's even better is that Shoko is dating his younger brother, Ryoma. If things go well, Shoko and I will no longer be best friends, but instead will become sister-in-laws. To become family with the people I love most is the greatest happiness in the world. It wasn't an easy road to get here, and life really kicked me up until this point, but I'm so happy now that I feel it was all worth it in the end. Mom, I hope you're watching. This is all for you.
My name is Sho Seijo. I'm a 25-year-old salesman. I take the train to work every day, but sometimes riding the train can cause a lot of trouble.
Oh my god! This guy just touched me!
She screamed out of the blue and grabbed my arm. I felt everyone around me staring at us. Usually a guy in this situation would get all worried and defensive, but...
Alright, you're getting off with me at the next station.
But I didn't touch you.
You're lying! They all say the same thing.
If you haven't done anything wrong, you need to stay calm, diligent, and strong. You can't run away from the situation. Excuse me, did anyone see this actually happen? I yelled inside the train. Everyone seemed surprised and taken aback. I need as many witnesses as possible to prove my innocence. Looks like no one saw it happen.
Everyone's just scared of speaking out. Just get off the train at the next station. I'm taking you to the conductor's office.
And so we got off at the last station. Even after we got off, this girl just kept on saying,
This guy touched me inappropriately. Someone needs to call the conductor.
I felt everyone being disgusted at me, but I knew that I did nothing wrong. I'll just imagine that they're all potato-headed fools. Eventually, the conductor arrived to the scene. You touched this poor girl? You're an animal! This cannot go unpunished!
Right? Please take him away.
Alright, come with me to my office. No, I refuse. Huh? The conductor is not your friend. You can't trust him at all. If they take you to his office, they'll send you straight to the police afterwards. You'll regret ever trusting the conductor as soon as you get taken to the police station. So, whatever you do, you cannot go with him. You do know that you're in the wrong here, right? Now come with... But I haven't done anything wrong. I never touched this girl, so I won't go with you. Are you kidding me? I won't run or hide, and actually, let me record this conversation. I promise you that I'm not going to lie to you about anything.
Huh? But I saw you touch me. I felt your hand on my body.
And here's another piece of advice. You can't argue against the accuser when they say you touched them. You can't, for example, say something like, oh, I was holding the railing on my right hand and I had my bag in my left hand. How could I possibly touch you? Because they'll just respond by saying,
You touched me on my left side. You could have reached with your left hand and touched me with your fingers or something, even if you had a bag in your hand.
And then you'll probably reply, but I just got in the train at Shibuya Station. They'll just say,
I got on at Shibuya too.
And just like that, they'll just make things up to prove you wrong. So you must never talk about the situation you were in. Let them explain it for you. That way you can just refute her claims by telling them the truth.
I've had enough. Sir, could you please call the police?
Yeah, sure. This guy, I swear. Didn't he hear me saying that I was recording this conversation? He thinks I did it even though there's no proof. I might just sue him for defamation. Oh well, can't lose my temper here. Breathe, breathe.
Oh, so you touched this girl over here? You messed up big time.
Yeah, that's right. Please take him away.
For the millionth time, I didn't do it.
Stop lying, you perverted sex offender.
Alright, just follow me to the station. We'll talk there.
No, I won't. I was relieved that the police got involved. That's because the police have a responsibility to investigate the situation. If they don't do their job, they'll just be fired for negligence. From when she first accused me of touching her until now, I haven't touched anything. I haven't washed my hands or wiped them on anything. So, could you do a test on my hand to see if there's any fabric from her clothes on it? Then do a test on her clothes to see if my skin's attached to it.
What? But I said that this guy did it, so what more proof do you need?
Well, if you think I actually did it, then wouldn't it be better if more information that proves your point came out?
Well...
And besides, if you guys don't conduct these tests, even though I specifically requested it, what would the judge think? They'll probably dismiss the case for having too few evidence, and if you refuse my request, you'll just be helping the victim out. Again, I'm recording this conversation, so think carefully about what would happen if this case went to trial. After hearing this, the conductor and the policeman fell silent. After a bit,
Alright, we'll conduct those tests.
and after the tests were done, I was finally released. A few days later, my accuser and I were both summoned at the police station. Needless to say, all the evidence was on my side. She couldn't prove anything.
We're so sorry for troubling you.
No, it's alright. Thank you for taking in my request.
So it was a different guy, huh? Sorry about that.
She's trying to play it off as a mistake, but it definitely isn't. Why don't you stop this little play of yours, Miss Kana Sato?
What? How do you know my name?
There's been a lot of innocent men getting accused of sexual harassment on that train recently. So I thought there might be some foul play involved, and I did some of my own research.
What?
You know, I'm actually an undercover policeman. I'm specifically targeting false information of sexual attack. Yep, that's right. The reason I know so much about how to deal with accusations of sexual assault is because I'm one of the few undercover policemen trying to catch false accusers on the train. I had a brother that was 10 years older than me. His name was Kaname. He gave me all of his love, and I gave all of mine back. But one day, he stopped coming back from work. I only found out what happened to him when I became a high schooler. He was falsely accused of sexual assault on his way to work. He tried to prove that he didn't do it, but all of his efforts were fruitless. My parents fought back and requested for another investigation to take place. They only found out that he was innocent until after 5 years of his arrest. He became paranoid during his time in jail, and he constantly thought about how everyone thought of him as a criminal, so he ended up killing himself shortly after coming out of jail. I only saw him after he died, since he was living alone in an apartment far from home. 5 years have already passed since that moment when I last saw him. After that moment, I decided that I was going to fight false accusations of sexual assault for the best of my family. I looked up past cases and how sexual assault trials work, what the victims of false accusations went through, etc. And eventually, I was able to make a file on how to combat false accusations of sexual assault. After that, I became a police officer and suggested that they introduce a new position within the chain of command. That's my current position. False accusations of sexual assault have been on the rise recently, and sadly, a lot of people suffer from it every year. Why is there a poster that says that sexual assault is a crime, but not a poster that says falsely accusing someone of sexual assault is a crime? It's not just women that suffer from sexual assault. Men who've been falsely accused of it can have their lives ruined. I brought up what happened to my brother and the countless others that were put in his situation to make my case to the higher-ups. I formed a team with other police officers that had the same goals as me, and started patrolling busy trains every day. Of course, if sexual harassment was actually taking place while I was on the train, I had to make sure I intervened. After all, false accusations only exist because cases of actual sexual assault exist. Women are definitely in need of more protection than men, that's for sure. But there are people so afraid of being falsely accused of sexual assault that they are advocating for a men-only card to be introduced. So I can't forgive this woman for trying to scam an innocent man by falsely accusing him. We need to be as hard on these people as we are on actual predators. So I looked up what you've been up to recently, and I found out that you've falsely accused over 5 men of sexual assault just this month alone. You've already made $40,000 this month. You drew too much attention to yourself, that's for sure.
evidence that I lied.
There's a lot of surveillance cameras now, even in some of the train carts. Didn't you know that?
What? Really?
Not every train has them, but we immediately set up cameras when we found out that someone was falsely accusing people on the train very frequently. So it wasn't hard to figure out that you were behind all this. We've already arrested your friends, and they've told us all about you.
Those bastards!
She tried to run away, but the police officer grabbed her.
Alright, let's go to the interrogation room. And Officer Seijo, I'm sorry about what happened. I didn't know that you were,
It's alright. You did everything you were supposed to, and that's why we were able to prove that she was lying. And besides, she could have been right. I could have actually done it, so please, do continue to do everything you need to find out who's telling the truth. That's the difficult part of all this. The victim could mistakenly accuse some innocent stranger of assaulting her. They're both victims to a certain extent, so everything would end up peacefully if they both just apologized to each other. But the man being accused could sue the girl for defamation. It wouldn't actually hold up in court, but it's a very prolonged, unfortunate process. And the female victim might be too scared of ever speaking up again when she gets assaulted. But there are ways to find out who the actual assaulter is. First and foremost, the crime scene must be investigated thoroughly. This is the most important thing when it comes to tackling sexual assault. In Kana Sato's situation, if I was a civilian, I could have sued her for defamation. I would have won a lot of money too. And so every member of the group that was going around accusing people of sexual assault was arrested. They were tried and sentenced, and they were forced to return the money they had scammed. This incident became a very contentious issue in public. It helped to spread awareness of how many people suffer from false accusations of sexual assault every year. After that incident, I visited the victims of this false sexual assault allegation ring. I was there to make sure that they were healing properly so none of them ended up like my brother. But because his accusers were all arrested and tried, everyone seemed to be doing well. No one got a divorce or attempted suicide. I'm so relieved that they're all doing well for themselves.
Sho, I saw the news today. You were the one that caught them, right?
Yeah, it took a while, but all the victims seem to be doing pretty well, so I'm really glad.
When I heard you were gonna be an undercover agent, I was really worried about you.
Mom.
But hearing this story makes me really proud of my son. I'm sure Kaname is proud of you too.
I sure hope so. I'm gonna get back to work, but after I'm done, I'll go visit his grave.
Really? I'll go with you then. Tell me about your story. Let me know when you're going.
What I do isn't something I can be happy about. I got here after wanting to punish people like my brother in a situation he was in. This is my way of avenging my brother. If he was still alive, he would be 35 now. He could have been married, had kids even. But that will never happen anymore. So I can't forgive the people who would do something like this to others.
Hello, who is it?
Hi, this is Sho Seijo.
No!
This woman right here, she's the one that falsely accused my brother. After I became a police officer, I reinvestigated my brother's case. The accuser was Nanami Kojyo. She was 32 when the incident occurred, and now she's 42. She ended up on the same train as my brother and accused him of groping her. But a close examination of her skirt later revealed that her accusation was unfounded. After the truth came out, she told the authorities, I needed some money and I thought I'd win some if I lied. But things got bigger and bigger until I couldn't hold back. As a result, my parents sued her for defamation. She ended up paying a lot of money in damages. She went bankrupt a couple years ago, but she got married soon after and is living happily as a normal housewife.
I thought you were dead.
Oh yeah, I look exactly like my brother. My parents tell me all the time.
Your brother?
Yep, I'm Kaname's younger brother. My name is Sho. Nice to meet you.
Why are you here?
Why? You know very well. She didn't dare to speak, so I held out my warrant. Nanami Kojyo, you educated 5 women on how to scam money from people by falsely accusing them of sexual assault. And you received some of that money, didn't you? All 5 of them admitted to it.
No!
She sat there and cried. Apparently her husband's company went bankrupt and she needed some money, so she reached out to a bunch of young girls through social media and teach them about her ways. At first, she only made them do it once. If they were gonna do it multiple times, they had to do it on different lines. They had a whole rule book, but one of the 5 got cocky and started acting selfishly. This is how we found out about them. We don't know if her husband knew about this, but he seemed sad as he watched the police take his wife away. If this man's business didn't fail, Nanami wouldn't have done any of this. That makes me feel conflicted. Of course, she must atone for her sins, but that doesn't change the fact that I lost my brother. I want to avenge my brother, but that's not really possible against Nanami. So I will arrest as many women like Nanami as possible. But when I put my handcuffs on Nanami, all I could think about was, why did she do such a stupid thing? There are people who suffered because of her. This whole incident made me realize that more than anything, I just wanted to prevent others from suffering the same way my brother did. If you would have just stayed away from crime, you really just can't help yourself, can you? And so I booked her in. So I arrested the woman that ruined my brother's life. Hopefully that'll be of some comfort to him.
This is great news. I couldn't have asked for a better son.
I'm not a good son, Mom.
No, you are. Kaname was so important to me, but he's gone now, and I can't forgive her for taking him away from me.
Mom.
So I'm glad you arrested her before I tried to find her and kill her. I'm so glad you became a police officer. You saved me, Sho.
Well, to be honest with you, I thought about killing her too, but that would only create more victims. I hugged my mom and we stood there and cried for a while. I wanted my brother to be alive, for him to never have gone through what he went through, but because of him, I was able to become a police officer and work toward preventing false accusations from taking place in the future. There's no use regretting the past. I'm going to keep on working as hard as I can as an undercover cop until false accusations of sexual assault are eradicated.
My name is Kengo Sada. I work in a factory and I'm 24 years old. Today, I'll be sharing with you the huge battle that took place between the prime contractors and us, subcontractors. To begin, we need to go back to when I was in high school. Back then, we were honestly the poorest family in the neighborhood. It's because my dad ran away with this other woman when I was in 8th grade. To take care of 4 kids, including me, Mom worked all by herself. In our modern age, a household with 4 kids is quite a big family. Plus, my brothers and sisters were all very young and needed a lot of attention. My mom couldn't work as much as she needed to, and I think her wage was very low. Because she was a single mother taking care of her children, the city had single-parent allowance and child-rearing allowance support for her. But obviously that wasn't enough to cover for school tuition and everyday expenses. I also helped out doing part-time jobs and did what I could taking care of my baby brothers and sisters. But that only covered the bare minimum. I thought about it a lot, but I decided not to move on to university.
I'm sorry. It's my fault that you weren't able to go to university.
That's not your fault, Ma. You're already working so hard to raise us. Let me help you too, huh? As I graduated from high school, I started working full-time at a small-town factory close to my home. This factory's main line focused on metal processing, and we took orders and requests to make electronic products and medical equipment. It was a very basic, standard town factory. We had around 10 or so staff members. But the president of our company, Mr. Yoshimura, was a very nice man. Our working environment was very good, and it was a good-standing company. Thanks to that, I was able to take care of my siblings. So I was very lucky. At this factory, I worked hard every day. The pay wasn't all that bad. Our lives became much better. All in all, I think our lives were heading in the right direction. 2 years have passed since I began working here, and now I was 20 years old. At this time, a certain event was creeping towards me. You guessed it, the coming-of-age ceremony. I knew it would be an event where I could reunite with my old classmates from my hometown middle school, but I didn't plan to attend. Since my family was poor, I never attended the school field trip, so I don't have any special memories from school. Plus, I was already busy with work, so I thought I had no point in going. However, as I received the notice for the coming-of-age ceremony, I also got a message from a former middle school classmate, Ryuji Moriguchi. Hey, it's been a while. How have you been? Do you remember me? Yeah, I'm surprised you found my ID. Well, yeah, I have my connections. Well, by the way, did you receive the coming-of-age ceremony invitation? Ah, yeah, I got it. It's cliché, but we're planning a reunion party afterwards. Are you coming? Nah, I think I'll pass. I figured you would say that. You're too poor for these events. I'm sure you can't rent out traditional formal wear for these events, let alone buy a new suit. That's not quite it. Oh, I got it. I heard a rumor that you started working right after graduating from high school. I can't imagine if you don't want to show up, it's because you're leading such a sad life. Man, now I feel bad for inviting you. I had a bad feeling when I saw his name pop up, and my instincts were right. This dude, Ryuji Moriguchi, was the type to take advantage of his position as the son of a president. His dad was pretty successful, so he never had any money problems. That itself never bugged me, but he would use my family situation as a perfect excuse to bully me as a kid. Your uniform is tiny on you! I bet you're so poor you can't even buy a new pair! And I heard you quit the club because you're too busy working for your family? So it is true that there's no leisure time for the poor. He kept pestering me about my poor background, so I have zero nice memories from middle school. When I was absent for the school field trip, that was another easy target for him. One of the reasons I wanted to be absent for this coming-of-age ceremony was because I didn't want to bump into Moriguchi. But if I really backed out from this reunion, it felt like I was running away from Moriguchi, and I didn't like that. I was still a kid, being picked to fight and jumping to that opportunity. So I decided to attend the coming-of-age ceremony. I also decided to join the reunion party after that as well. However, just like Moriguchi, all the people around me were university students. I felt out of place as I wasn't able to join in any of the conversations, and I was mildly regretting I'd joined. However...
Sada, is that you? Long time no see.
Miss Ume? Wow, it's been too long. How have you been? The girl who came up to me, Chicho Ume, was one of the prettiest girls in our grade. She was like the class queen. Oh, it's been years since I last saw her, but she still looked beautiful and cute. All the guys around her at the reunion party were glancing at her. Miss Ume would never treat me differently because I was poor. She treated me equally, as a good friend. I was happy to reunite with her. She was a university student, but we were able to chat about her part-time job, about my work. She was a very good listener, and we had fun catching up. Thanks to her, I was able to fit in with the crowd and wasn't uncomfortable anymore. But... Yo, Ume! Don't talk with that loser! Come join our table! Huh? Sada? Shouldn't you go home soon? You have work tomorrow too, don't you? Man, that's a tough life you've got there. Moriguchi came barging into our conversation. I hate to admit it, but it was true I had to leave soon. Miss Ume? I should get going now. It was really nice meeting you again.
I see. I'm sad you have to leave so soon. Let's meet again.
It felt frustrating to leave after being told by Moriguchi, but I left it at that for the time being. However, the next day...
It was nice seeing you yesterday. Oh, do you recognize me?
Of course! I'm surprised you were able to find my ID.
I don't like the thought of it, but I'm friends with Moriguchi on this app. And you popped up on the possible friends list. He was useful for once.
Oh, I see. Thanks for messaging me, though. I was glad I could see you again.
I was surprised to see you all grown up and handsome. I guess people who are already working look more grown up.
You flatter me.
Come on, I mean it.
Thanks. By the way, was there something you wanted to say to me?
Oh yeah, you left the reunion party a bit early yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, sorry, I had work.
I wanted to talk to you a bit more. Maybe we could meet again?
Are you sure? I mean, I'll be glad to. Do you want to invite someone else?
If it's alright with you, maybe we could meet just the two of us.
After a couple of messages, I was to go on a date with her. This I didn't expect at all. Apparently, Miss Ume was having a bit of a rough time with her university classmates. She didn't seem to get along with people the same age as her. She said she felt much more comfortable talking to me and wanted to know me better. She looked embarrassed as she opened up her feelings to me. It took a little time for us to start dating. Because it started with Chiho being quite passionate, I was determined to properly confess to her myself. When I told her I wanted to properly go out with her, she cried from happiness. So that made me very glad that I had done it. It was annoying to think it was thanks to Moriguchi we were able to meet, but I decided to be genuinely thankful that he gave us this opportunity. 4 years passed. Mr. Yoshimura, the president, recognized my hard work, and I was able to take on a fairly big position in the factory. However, as I was working, another miraculous re-encounter happened. Mr. Yoshimura had introduced me to someone new. Here's a new employee sent from MoniRobo Electronics. Let me introduce you. He's our new staff in charge from MoniRobo, Mr. Moriguchi. The man I was introduced to was none other than Ryuji Moriguchi. And so, Moriguchi ended up becoming our new mediator, acting as a new bridge, but... Man, the world's small, isn't it? I never imagined we would meet in a place like this. Yeah, well, either way, let's both do our best, huh? Huh? Don't you think that attitude's a bit inappropriate? Why, we're former classmates. That was the past. Now I'm the prime contractor, and you're the subcontractor. I thought we should make that clear, you know? So I should be more polite to you? Basically, yes. I mean, I think both prime contractors and subcontractors are equal in where they stand. That's just what people say on the surface. Obviously, there's a power balance underneath that. Don't forget, I can do big damage to your place with a single command. As you can tell from this conversation, this man obviously looks down on his subcontractors. Even after he began poking his head to the factory site. Hey, where's my coffee? You're so inconsiderate. What's with that attitude? You don't care if we terminate your contract, eh? Like this, when Moriguchi shows up, the atmosphere at our factory turns horrible. Everybody's mature here, so no one goes up to him or says anything, but at the bottom of their hearts, everyone wants to beat him to a pulp. That was the same for me. We were all trying to stay cool with it. However, one day an incident occurred. Mr. Yoshimura had to leave work for a few days for his mother's memorial service. During that time, I was the chief manager for the factory site, but the next day Mr. Yoshimura left, Moriguchi waltzed into the site and... What? Shaw's on the deadline? It's so last minute! I forgot to tell you. Just make it work. He notified us that our deadline had changed. That, in and of itself, isn't a rare thing at all. But a deadline change from a week to 3 days? We strongly insisted that wasn't possible, but... Shut it! Subcontractors should just do as they're told. Stay behind if you have to. Don't leave until you've met the deadline! His attitude was something. With our president's absence, I couldn't say anything back to him. We had no choice but to take in his orders. We had to meet the new deadline no matter what. We were overworked, staying behind late hours and even sleeping in the factory to manage things. But still, the deadline seemed impossible. I might have been too stressed. Ah! I accidentally touched one of the machines with spinning blades and got into a huge accident. I was taken to the hospital, and despite not having any sequela, I was told it would take 2 months to fully recover. Of course, while hospitalized, I couldn't work at all. I did the worst possible thing at the worst possible time. The president heard what had happened and came over to visit me. And forgetting about my wounds, I was crying and on my knees. I'm so sorry! We haven't met the deadline and I got into this accident. I feel so bad and so miserable. I was crying in front of the president. However, Mr. Yoshimura said, I've heard what's going on. I'm sorry too. I didn't know this would put so much strain on you. And you got into this accident. I'm so sorry. I'll take all the responsibility for this. You done nothing wrong. Rest up, His kind words brought even more tears to my eyes. The next day, the President Moriguchi and I gathered to have a discussion. Well, it looks like you guys aren't gonna meet the deadline, and one of your employees got into a huge accident? What pathetic subcontractors you are! Here he goes again, the same attitude as always. But then the president suddenly stood up. Let your manager know that we won't be taking any orders from MoniRobo Electronics anymore. We're cutting ties with you. He said that in such a firm voice. Both Moriguchi and I were extremely surprised. That's because MoniRobo Electronics was no joke, one of our biggest prime contractors. If we cut ties with them, we wouldn't be able to withstand the damage. Everyone was aware of that. That's why, although we looked very surprised, Moriguchi kept distance. They're fine. We have plenty of other choices for subcontractors anyway. He spat that away and I left. President, sir, it's not my place to say this, but are you serious about this? Yes, I mean, it's not like MoniRobo's the only contract we have, but we, the employees, are all panicking. But Mr. Yoshimura seemed very cool about this. Oh, it'll be fine. I have my connections too. It might not fill in the spot of MoniRobo completely, but I'll make sure you guys don't end up on the streets. Trust your president. We know this president and where his confidence comes from. We were proud of our skills. If we work hard to sell our technology, there might be someone that will make a deal with us. However, that still doesn't change the fact that MoniRobo was one of our biggest partners. Losing that would be a huge blow to our company. This whole problem was my fault to some extent. I made up my mind and called a certain person. Hello? It's me. It's the deal I talked about before. Can you tell them I'll take the job? A few months later. Please, excuse my stupid son's ruinous behavior. Please, anything but cutting the contract. I'm very sorry. Moriguchi had brought his father along and apologized, knees to the ground. Why did this happen? The person I called that day was Chiho, my girlfriend. We were actually engaged by this point, but when we went to her parents' place, Chiho's father gave me a condition. If I wanted to marry Chiho, I would have to become the heir to her father's company. Actually, Chiho's father was the president of MoniRobo's Electronics' biggest rival company, Rookie Electronics. I had a miserable educational background, but he acknowledged my skills and hard-working attitude, and saw how I took care of my family this whole time. If you decide to become my successor, I'll teach you everything you have to know. You'll have to convince every single employee, staff, and the higher-ups to do this. It'll be a bumpy road. Will you still do this? I plan to stay where I was and work hard there. I never imagined myself working at such a big company. However, after causing so much trouble to a company that was so kind to me, if there was anything I could do to help, I wanted to do it. I accepted the offer, but also on one condition. I asked Rookie Electronics to make a new contract with my factory. Basically, I'd sold our technology to MoniRobo's biggest rival. I brought Chiho's father to talk with our president, and in the end, Chiho's father greatly praised our technology. and we got to sign the contract. This didn't only fill in the hole MoniRobo made, but it was more than that.
If your technology goes somewhere else, our company is over.
So, we want you to wait just a little longer. Don't sign the contract yet.
Actually, factories are some of the most advanced technologies in the world. Some of the mainline products that MoniRobo produces cannot be made possible without our technology. If their rival company gets a hold of this technology, that would obviously deal a lot of damage to the race. I knew that was bound to happen, that's why I accepted the offer. Moriguchi only thought of us as just another subcontractor, and I suspected that he wasn't too familiar with this industry as a whole. I guessed right. When he said we have plenty of other choices for subcontractors, this plan came to mind. That's why Moriguchi had brought his dad along to apologize and beg us not to make a deal with Rookie Electronics. However, Mr. Yoshimura replied coldly.
We've done business with you for a very long time. I too don't want to do this, but you spoiled your son a bit too much, eh? Prime contractors and subcontractors are supposed to be on equal footing. As for us, there are many products that cannot be created without our technology. Yet your son is treated as horribly. I bet you never educated him properly. Take this chance to reflect back on how you raised your son.
He turned down their request just like that. In conclusion, MoniRobo Electronica had no choice but to cut down their market line, as they were able to make the same products. They never went bankrupt, but I would assume they're at a very far place from rivaling Rookie now. Moriguchi, after angering his father, was kicked out of the company too. Of course, as MoniRobo Company's dumb son. This name spread around the entire industry, so he had nowhere to go. He ended up in a factory, just like all the subcontractors he had been making fun of. I had connections with the people there, and I asked them just in case how Moriguchi was doing.
I was an elite worker of MoniRobo. I'm different from you.
What an attitude. He ended up being fed up with the rookie treatment and ran off. The factory was famous for hiring former delinquents and nobodies and helping them get back on track with their lives, and their president was kind enough to hire Moriguchi. But if he can't stand working here, I honestly think there isn't anywhere else to go. Nobody knows what he's up to, not even his own father. Me, on the other hand, got married to Chiho, and I quit my factory job, and I'm currently training hard to be accepted as a successor to Rookie Electronics. I was able to pay back Mr. Yoshimura who took me in. And I'm now able to work at a huge company. It's unbelievable. I'm honestly bewildered at my life. It was something I never imagined when I decided not to move on to university. Now, I'm the manager that looks after the factory I used to work at. My relationship with my coworkers is pretty good too.
When you retire, you can come back to our factory. I'll hire you anytime.
If you're fit and still working, I'd love to join you again.